My girlfriend insisted, "I need more me time alone, please respect that." I replied, "Of course, my love." Then I hired a private investigator to see what this me time entailed, and got photos of her with another man. The shocking revelation was me serving her eviction papers from my apartment during her next me time. I'm 32 male. My girlfriend, Chloe, 29F, and I have been together for about 3 years, living together in my apartment for the last 2. Things were, I thought, pretty good. Comfortable, you know? We had our routines, our inside jokes, the usual couple stuff. About 2 months ago, Chloe started talking about needing more me time. She said she felt like she'd lost a bit of herself in the relationship and needed space to recharge, pursue her hobbies, which were suddenly very vague, and just be alone with her thoughts. She was super insistent, almost a little rehearsed about it. "I love you, Alex. This isn't about us. It's about me. I just need this. Please respect that." Alarm bells, right? Tiny ones at first. I'm not a clingy dude. I have my own life, my own friends. So I said, "Of course, my love, whatever you need," and I meant it mostly. But something felt off. Her me time always seemed to be on specific evenings, usually Wednesdays and Saturdays, and she was always a little too dressed up for sitting on the couch reading, which was one of her go-to explanations. Plus, she got weirdly defensive if I asked even a casual question about what she did. My gut started screaming after a few weeks of this. I'm not proud of it, but I'm also not a fool. I hired a PI. Old school, I know, but I needed facts, not just a sick feeling in my stomach. It wasn't cheap, but peace of mind or confirmation of disaster is priceless, I guess. The PI was quick, efficient. Last Friday I got the email. Subject, case update, C. Miller. Inside, a folder of pictures. Chloe, looking very happy, very not alone, with some dude I've never seen before. Holding hands, kissing, going into a restaurant, then later looking cozy at a bar. The works. The PI even got a name, Liam. My first reaction wasn't rage, it was cold. Like a switch flipped. All the little inconsistencies, the weird excuses, her sudden need for privacy, it all clicked into place. It was so blatant, so disrespectful. She was using my apartment as her home base while she was out screwing around. I didn't confront her immediately. What was the point of a screaming match? She'd just lie more. Deny. Gaslight. No, this needed a different approach. My approach. Her next me time was scheduled for yesterday, Saturday. She gave me the usual spiel, kissed me goodbye, the nerve, and headed out. I waited an hour, then called my PI. Is she with him? Affirmative. They were at his place, apparently. Perfect. I had already contacted my building management and a lawyer earlier in the week to understand the eviction process for a non-leaseholding occupant. Since she wasn't on the lease, and it was my apartment from before we even met, it was relatively straightforward. I got the official notice drawn up. 30 days. Yesterday evening, while she was deep in her me time, I went to Liam's apartment building. I didn't go to his door. I just waited in my car across the street. The PI had given me his address. Around 10 p.m. they came out, laughing, holding hands. He walked her to her car. They had a long, passionate kiss. My stomach turned, but my resolve hardened. This was her choice. She got home around 10:45 p.m., all smiles, humming to herself. "Hey, you're still up," she said, a little surprised. "Yeah," I said, keeping my voice even. "Had some things to take care of." "Good me time?" I asked. "Oh, it was wonderful. So relaxing." "Just what I needed," she chirped, heading to the bedroom. I waited until she was settled in bed, probably scrolling through her phone, texting Liam no doubt. Then I walked in. "Chloe," I said. She looked up, a little annoyed at being interrupted. "Yeah?" I held out the envelope. "This is for you." She took it, looking confused. "What is it?" "Bills?" "Sort of," I said. "It's an eviction notice. You have 30 days to vacate my apartment." Her face. Oh man. It went from confusion to disbelief to a flicker of panic, then to anger. "What the hell? Alex, is this a joke?" "No joke, Chloe. I know about Liam. I know your me time is him time." I pulled out my phone and showed her one of the pictures. Just one. Her and Liam mid-kiss. Clear as day. She stared at the photo, then at me. The color drained from her face. I can explain," she stammered. "No need," I said, keeping my voice calm, almost detached. "The explanation is pretty clear. You've been having an affair. You've been lying to me for months, and you've been doing it while living under my roof. The disrespect is astounding, frankly." I continued. "So you have 30 days. I expect you to be out by then. We can discuss how you want to get your things, but the decision is final." She just sat there, speechless, the eviction notice clutched in her hand. I turned and walked out of the bedroom. Slept on the couch. Best sleep I've had in weeks, ironically. This morning, the real fun began. But that's an update for later. For now, I just needed to get this initial part out. It's a lot. Update 1. The fallout and the entitlement begins 2 days later. So, Sunday morning, I woke up on the couch feeling surprisingly okay. Chloe was already up, red-eyed and pacing in the living room. The eviction notice was on the coffee table, looking like she'd crumpled it and then tried to smooth it out. "Alex, we need to talk about this," she started, her voice trembling a bit. "You can't just kick me out. This is my home too." "Actually, Chloe," I said, pouring myself some coffee, "it's my apartment. You're not on the lease. You were a guest, a long-term one, sure, but still a guest, and your welcome has been officially revoked." The entitlement. Wow. It was like a switch flipped in her too. The teary, I can explain person from Saturday night was gone. Now it was indignant Chloe. "After everything we've been through, 3 years, Alex, you're throwing it all away over one little mistake? One little mistake?" I raised an eyebrow. "Chloe, this wasn't a one-time slip-up. This was a calculated, ongoing affair. You built a whole routine around it. Me time. You lied to my face for months. That's not little." She started crying then. Real tears, I think, but they didn't move me. Not anymore. "But where will I go? I can't afford a place on my own right now. You know that." A little background. She works part-time at a boutique, always said she was finding herself, and didn't want the stress of a full-time career. I paid the lion's share of everything, which I was fine with when I thought we were a team. "That sounds like a you problem, Chloe," I said, sipping my coffee. "You had Liam. Maybe he has a couch you can crash on, or a spare room." Her head snapped up. "Don't you dare bring him into this." "A bit late for that, isn't it? You brought him into our life, my home, effectively." Then her phone rang. She glanced at it, then quickly silenced it. Probably Liam, wondering where his me-time buddy was. The rest of Sunday was a blur of her alternating between crying, yelling, and trying to bargain. "What if I break it off with him? Can we try counseling? Don't you love me anymore?" My answers were calm and consistent. "No, it's too late. The trust is gone. You need to leave." The kicker? Her older sister Zara called me Sunday evening. Zara, 35F, has always been a bit of a bulldozer, very much a my sister can do no wrong type. "Alex, Chloe just told me what happened," Zara started, no preamble. "You're being incredibly cruel, you know that? She made a mistake. People make mistakes. You're just going to throw her out on the street?" "Zara, with all due respect, this is between Chloe and me, and she wasn't thrown out. She was given a formal 30-day notice to find alternative accommodation because she chose to have an affair. She's devastated. You're breaking her heart. And what about all the time she's invested in this relationship? The emotional labor?" I almost laughed. Emotional labor? Zara, she was systematically deceiving me. That's not labor, that's sabotage. She has 30 days. I suggest she uses that time productively. Zara huffed. "You'll regret this, Alex. Chloe is a wonderful person. You're making a huge mistake." Then she hung up. Chloe spent most of today, Monday, holed up in the spare room, which used to be my office, then her craft room that she never used. She's been making a lot of dramatic, sighing phone calls, presumably to anyone who will listen. The atmosphere is thick with resentment. But I'm not budging. The PI is on standby in case she tries anything stupid with my stuff, and I've already looked into what it takes to get a locksmith scheduled for day 31. She thinks I'm bluffing, or that I'll cave. She doesn't know me very well, apparently. Update 2. Escalation and dirty tricks. 10 days into the 30-day notice. It's been an interesting week and a bit. Chloe's initial shock and tearful pleading have morphed into a weird combination of sulking, passive aggression, and outright entitlement. She's still here, obviously, making the apartment feel like a damn war zone. Her new tactic is trying to make my life as uncomfortable as possible. Little things at first. Using up all the hot water. Leaving passive-aggressive notes like, "Some people don't appreciate loyalty," on the fridge. Playing sad, mopey music really loud when I'm trying to work from home. Annoying, but manageable. Then came Zara, her sister, again. She actually showed up at the apartment on Wednesday, unannounced. Chloe let her in while I was on a work call. I finished my call to find Zara in my living room, looking like she owned the place. "Alex, we need to talk. This has gone on long enough," Zara declared. "Zara, I've already told you, this isn't up for discussion. Chloe needs to leave." "She's not going anywhere," Zara said, crossing her arms. "She has rights. You can't just evict her like this. We've spoken to a friend who knows about tenancy laws." Spoiler, they clearly haven't. Or they got terrible advice. "She's not a tenant in the legal sense of being on a lease, Zara. She's an occupant who has been given lawful notice. My lawyer assures me my position is solid." Chloe, emboldened by her sister's presence, chimed in. "Yeah, Alex. You can't just treat me like trash. I put years into this relationship. I decorated this place." She picked out a couple of throw pillows and a lamp. That was the extent of her decorating. "This is where it got dirty," Zara then said. "If you force her out, we'll make sure everyone knows what kind of man you are. All your friends, your colleagues, even your family." "A threat. Cute. Are you threatening to slander me, Zara?" I asked, keeping my voice very calm. "Because Chloe decided to cheat and I'm unwilling to continue subsidizing her lifestyle and infidelity?" Zara actually puffed up. "It's not slander if it's true. You're being a heartless bastard." I just looked at them both. The notice stands. She has until November 9th. If her belongings aren't out by then, they'll be placed in storage at her expense. And Zara, if you or Chloe attempt to harass or slander me, I'll pursue all available legal remedies. Now I think it's time for you to leave, Zara." Zara looked like she wanted to argue more, but I think my tone finally got through. She huffed, grabbed Chloe's hand, and they had a whispered, angry conference in the hallway before Zara left, shooting me a glare. Chloe's been even more hostile since. I came home yesterday to find she'd accidentally spilled coffee all over some important work documents I'd stupidly left on the kitchen counter. She gave a flimsy, "Oops, so clumsy" apology that was anything but sincere. I also noticed some of my smaller, more valuable personal items, a good watch, some cufflinks my dad gave me, were misplaced. I found them hidden under her clothes in her drawer. When I confronted her, she claimed she was just keeping them safe for me. Right. I've moved anything I truly value into a locked briefcase I now keep with me or in my car. I've also installed a small, discreet security camera in the living room, facing the main area and my desk. It's motion activated and uploads to the cloud. I informed Chloe in writing, email, so there's a record, about the camera, citing recent concerns about property. She freaked out, of course, calling it an invasion of her privacy. The irony is apparently lost on her. Liam, the affair partner, seems to have gone quiet. I suspect Chloe's current drama is a bit much for him. Or maybe he's just not interested in a woman who's about to be homeless. Can't say I blame him on that one. The deadline is approaching. I'm not backing down. Every stunt she pulls just reinforces my decision. She's digging her own grave, metaphorically speaking. I'm almost looking forward to November 9th. Update 3. The me-time eviction? Well, it's done. Chloe is officially out of my apartment and, more importantly, out of my life. Yesterday was D-Day, or rather E-Day, eviction day. And boy, was it a spectacle of entitlement right up to the bitter end. Chloe, bless her heart, seemed to genuinely believe I'd cave. Right up until yesterday morning, she was still making comments like, "You're really going to go through with this, Alex? You'll be so lonely." The delusion was strong with this one. I had arranged for a locksmith to come at 9 a.m. on November 9th. I also took the day off work. I wanted to be here to oversee the final act. Chloe was still in bed when I started moving the few boxes she'd grudgingly packed into the hallway. Most of her stuff was still strewn around the spare room and her side of the bedroom. "What are you doing?" she shrieked, emerging from the bedroom in her pajamas, hair a mess. "It's November 9th, Chloe. Your 30 days are up. You need to be out." "But I haven't found a place yet. You can't just throw my things out." "I'm not throwing them out. I'm preparing them for you to take, or if you prefer, for the movers I've hired to take them to a storage unit. The first month is on me as a final gesture of, well, something. After that, it's your bill." Cue the meltdown. Tears, accusations, the whole 9 yards. "You're a monster, Alex. I hate you. How could you do this to me?" Zara showed up around 8:30 a.m., clearly summoned as backup. she immediately launched into an attack. "You're actually doing this? You piece of work, she has nowhere to go. She's had 30 days, Zara, ample time to make arrangements. Her choices led her here." The locksmith arrived promptly at 9 a.m. Chloe and Zara tried to block the door. "You can't change the locks while I'm still here," Chloe screamed. "Actually, I can. Your legal right to occupy the premises ended at midnight. The locksmith is here. Please step aside." I had 2 friends with me as well, just as calm, impartial witnesses, and a bit of moral support muscle if needed, though I hoped it wouldn't come to that. They just stood there, looking unimpressed by the theatrics. Zara started filming with her phone. "The world is gonna see how you treat women, Alex." "Great," I said. "Make sure you get my good side. And also, capture the part where Chloe admits to the affair that caused this. For context, you know." That shut her up for a second. The locksmith was a pro, ignored the drama, and got to work. While he was changing the locks on the front door, I had the movers, who arrived at 9:30 a.m., start taking Chloe's packed boxes. For the unpacked stuff, I told them to carefully box everything from the spare room and her designated areas in the bedroom and bathroom. Chloe was hysterical, trying to grab things, yelling at the movers. Zara was still filming and muttering about lawsuits. The best part? Around 10 a.m., Liam showed up. Yes, Liam. Apparently, Chloe had called him in a panic. He looked incredibly uncomfortable. Alex?" he started, looking at me, then at the chaos. "Liam, right?" I said, extending a hand. He shook it, looking bewildered. "Thanks for coming. Chloe needs some help moving her things. Since you were the valor catalyst for this move, it seems fitting you assist." Chloe shot me a look that could kill. Liam just looked like he wanted the ground to swallow him. I didn't realize," he stammered. "Yeah, well, reality bites," I said. "She's all yours now. Enjoy the me time together." With Liam there, some of the fight went out of Chloe. She probably didn't want to look completely unhinged in front of her new man. She and Zara, with a very reluctant Liam, started trying to consolidate her belongings. It was slow, painful, and filled with muttered insults directed at me. By 2 p.m., most of her stuff was out, either in Zara's car, Liam's surprisingly small hatchback, or in the mover's truck heading to storage. The apartment felt instantly lighter. Chloe's parting shot? "You'll regret this, Alex. You'll never find anyone as good as me." I just smiled. "The locks are changed, Chloe. Here's the address for the storage unit. Goodbye." She stood there for a moment, expecting, I don't know what, an apology? A last-minute reprieve? Then Zara tugged her arm and they left. Liam scurried after them like a kicked puppy. My friends helped me tidy up the last bits. We ordered pizza, cracked open a few beers, and I felt this incredible wave of relief. It was over. The camera footage, by the way, is golden. Especially Zara's threats and Chloe's accidental coffee spill. Probably won't need it, but good to have. I got a few angry texts from unknown numbers later, probably Chloe's friends. Blocked. Zara posted some vague, passive-aggressive stuff on social media about toxic men and wolves in sheep's clothing. Whatever, my real friends know the truth. I gave a couple of them the short version. This morning, the apartment is quiet. It's my space again. It feels clean. I'm not even sad, just done. There's a weird sense of peace. I know it was harsh, but her betrayal was profound. She made her bed, and then I showed her the door. Time to start my own me time. The genuine kind. Thanks for letting me vent, Reddit. It actually helped.